Okay, well, let's turn over to Beatty. And you, of course, went through grade school and high school now, and Stan mentioned you went to Bucknell. When did you enter Bucknell?
Well, I might tell you first that in order to be eligible to go to Bucknell, I had to go to high school 5 years because you had to have 2 years of language, and I had only 1 year of Latin.
Mm-hmm.
So I went with the class of 39 and took second year Latin.
Mm-hmm.
And then went to Bucknell in 39.
Really? Did you get a degree from Bucknell?
Yes.
Which would have been when?
Oh, May 28th, 1943.
A Bachelor of Arts or Science?
No, it was a Bachelor of Science in, I don't know anything about it, how I got that, I don't know, Commerce and Finance.
Well, that's very good. Very good. In 1939, got a bachelor's degree.
No, 43.
Oh, 43, that's right. You entered in 39,
Yes.
and in
Yes.
43 you got your degree. And then, what did you do after that?
Well, I had several interviews for jobs. One was with a Dr. F. Theodore Strunk at Penn State in industrial arts. His secretary was leaving. And then I'd also had interviews in Harrisburg, and I accepted that job in Harrisburg. And there I was employed as a secretary to H. Albert Lehrman, a Deputy Attorney General, under Attorney General James H. Duff.
Uh-huh. Who later became governor.
Yes.
Jim Duff.
He became governor while I was still working there.
Really?
Yes.
So you sort of had an inside track to the governor.
Yes.
Before he was the governor.
He was known as Big Red.
Yeah. He was a big red-headed Irishman or Welshman or something. I don't know. What did he claim to be?
I don't recall.
I think he claimed to be Welsh at one time. So then you were commuting? Were you living at home and commuting to Harrisburg?
No. Through the one ad in the paper, I found a home. First, I have some relatives down there, the Manbecks, the Manbeck Bakery, who were related to my father. And they referred me to the widow of a dentist on North 2nd Street. And I lived there for 4 years at 2846 North 2nd Street.
Uh-huh.
And she also had other roomers.
And you continued to work, was this for the Commonwealth?
Yes.
Right? Was it a civil service position?
No.
Okay. Now, if you worked there for 4 years and you began in 43 or 44, that would take you right into when you were married to Stan.
Right, October of 47.
How did you folks court? If he was up here in Beavertown and you were in Harrisburg?
Well, I came home weekend.
Oh, I see. Okay. And then you finally tied the knot. Where was the ceremony and who was the minister?
Well, Reverend Deffen married us in the Lutheran Church here in Beavertown.
And
it was a beautiful fall day, and I guess maybe they didn't have big church weddings at that time. And it was catered by old ones of Harrisburg, so that my parents really had nothing to do.
Where did you have the after wedding ceremony?
The only place then available or then used was the basement of the church.
So you had it down in the basement of the church?
Yes, and Dick Girdley played the record player.
Oh, is that, you didn't, well, that's all right. Excuse me. Who was the best man for the wedding?
Stan's brother, Max Saylor.
And who were some of the other persons that participated?
Catherine Walker was my matron of honor, and the bridesmaids were Joy Bond from Scranton and Frances Reeder from Reading.
Mm-hmm.
And Lola Riggle was the acolyte.
That's a name I hadn't heard for a long time.
She's now missionary.
And how about a honeymoon? Did you folks take a honeymoon?
Yes, we did. It seems that this, of course, was a Saturday afternoon, and the local band had played someplace, and they were just coming home about the time the reception was over. So it looks, we have pictures in front of the store, it looks like they had the band out to serenade us.
Yeah.
But we left, went to Harrisburg, and stayed Penn Harris, and the next morning flew to Denver and on to Colorado Springs. Where Stan was stationed in the service.
Beautiful area. Did you go up on Pikes Peak during your honeymoon, or didn't you bother?
We didn't go all the way up.
How about the Garden of the Gods?
Yes, we went to the Garden of the Gods.
Seven Falls?
Yes.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I've been there many times. Of course, my cousin lives there. Schnitz Wagner, Marlon Wagner.
Oh, yeah.
Now, let's just turn over to Stan for a moment, and let's pick up there where we left off a little while ago on baseball. You were involved with high school baseball.
Yeah.
Did you play any baseball in the service?
Very little. After I came back from overseas, we played with, we had a team out in San Luis Obispo. That's where I went to after I left here for my recuperation. And we had a good ball club. We had, maybe you remember Joe Dobson used to pitch in Boston.
Sure.
He was with our outfit then. He pitched for us. And we had a pretty good ball club. Had a lot of semi-pro and some pro players.
Yeah, I know. Service ball was real good. And it was during my time a little later. But so then you came home to Beavertown, and we had a town team.
Beavertown Tigers.
We had a long tradition of winning baseball here in town. Toy Walker, Butch Ryan, going back many years. So who was the manager in the post-war years there, the early post-war years?
Jim Lash.
Jim Lash was the manager. And who were some of your teammates?
Well, we had Deitch Wagner catching.
Right.
And we had Bob Millersworth, my brother Bill, Roy Swanger, and once in a while I'd pitch. And then we had, we alternated at first base. When Bob wasn't pitching, he played first. Sometimes Bill played first. And we had Solly Klein, the Markley boys, Sam Herman. Of course, Sam was, at first he was away, he was playing pro ball.
Right.
And we had John Booney,
Mm-hmm.
Sam Hackenberg,
Right.
Cracker Howell.
Right. I remember when Cracker hung a curveball that practically cleared the grandstand, and Deitch went out to talk to him, and he said, well, it got away from me. Well, that was kind of obvious.
Yes, that was true.
And,
But he was a hard ball player.
Mm-hmm.
Played hard.
Yeah, he sure did.
We had a good ball club.
Very good. In fact, the league was what? The Snyder County League?
West Branch.
Well, not at first.
First it was Snyder County, I believe was it Tri-County League? Snyder and...
I don't know.
I know Westfield was in it for a while.
Yeah, and Liverpool and...
Yeah, I think it may have been Tri-County. Then we went to West Branch.
Right, which was the oldest amateur baseball league in the country. And for many years, you guys were champions or co-champions. I guess the West Branch had the system whereby the team with the best record was declared the season's champion. Then you had a playoff to determine the cup champion.
That's right.
And Beavertown and Mifflinburg would trade off one or the other of those positions. It seemed like forever.
Yeah, we had a good ball club.
Very fine, outstanding ball club. And the town attended.
The town supported us.
Yeah.
No question about it.
Not only here in town, but at all the away games. There was quite a retinue of people who went and attended.
Everybody, all the other teams liked to play Beavertown because they always got a good crowd.
Yeah, yeah. And the contributions not only paid for the baseballs and the umpires, but maybe a little in the kitty. And I know you had sponsors for your uniforms. Rather than buying them, I think individuals would sponsor them.
Right.
We're going to have a whole special sometime on nothing but the Beavertown Tigers, and perhaps get some old movie clips and still pictures and that sort of thing. So we won't dwell on that any longer, but it was a great time. the atmosphere, the people were all charged up, the war was over, we were all happy, rationing was over with, and baseball was perhaps the greatest pull in Beavertown of anything we had in those days. Let me just turn back to Beatty for a second. When you gave up your employment with the Commonwealth, did you come up and help your parents in the store or support Stan in his activities?
Well, the thing, I quit only 2 weeks before we were married, October 15th to the 25th. So I guess I was busy in preparations for that.
Yeah, getting ready for the
And
wedding.
then, however, upon returning, we both worked at the store.
Yeah, and I certainly remember those great days. Now, during the war, you know, things were rationed. You had to have stamps and points and all this sort of thing. You guys always managed somehow to have everything that was necessary. I don't want to get into what I did because that's not the important thing, but I just want to make this one little thing. My grandfather smoked, Cloyd Wagner, and I did too, even though I was only 12 or 13 years old. So I would go up to your mother and say, I want a pack of cigarettes for my grandfather, and of course the thing that was available was like Cavalier and Wings and junk stuff, and the Camels and Luckies were under the, but she knew that he smoked Camels at that time, and so that's what I got, you see. 17 cents a pack for Camels, and of course they weren't for my granddad at all. 22 shells was another thing that was very difficult to obtain during the war, but I always got my supply, and I always appreciated that. And your KV ice cream that you had, hand-dipped, I think it was KV, wasn't it?
Well,
Juniata.
it was Juniata.
Well, KV took them over later on.
Yeah.
They merged, that's right.
Yeah, Juniata and KV, absolutely.
Now, our
good.
5-cent ice cream cones were enormous,
They
as
certainly-
much as you could put on them, overflowing.
Yeah, they really were, and they were delicious.
One of my jobs was to clean the crock in which the dipper was kept for the
Yeah.
ice cream.
The crock with the water in it.
Yeah, with water.
Yeah, so that the ice cream wouldn't stick to the dippers and so on.
Right.